Well, hey people, not really feeling very funky at the moment. Actually, I'm a bit more mellow than I was before, but I was a bit pissed off earlier. I got a couple of comments from the Atheist Antidote on yesterday's video, which, you know, kind of irked me a bit. And the reason they irked me so much is because, frankly, when someone like the Atheist Antidote calls you a liar, or whatever, no. The Atheist Antidote has proven himself time and again to be intellectually dishonest, and that's just a blanket way of saying it. I mean, you know, whether it's plagiarism or quoting out of context or, you know, using long flourishes of hyperbole that don't actually mean anything. You know, his channel is certainly got its hallmarks, but you know, integrity is not something you would naturally associate with the Atheist Antidote, and therefore I find it very, 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 very taxing on my sanity to have my integrity called into question by someone like Brock. So, let's just get down to the comments that Brock left on my video, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to resolve the situation. The most disgusting thing, this was the most disgusting thing you've ever done where I am concerned, and that list has grown long. You were not misinformed. You knew you were being blatantly dishonest when making this video. That makes it the purest of lies. Shame on you. The gospel of grace is beautifully unfair. For we all deserve to account for our evil nature. Only by the grace and sacrifice of Christ in the flesh do we know salvation. For all who care to know truth, it was within this context that I used the lines G. Well, Brock, we're about to find out the context that you use the lines in, and I don't think you're going to find that it lines up with what you just said right there. On the other hand, I find it ironic that you're complaining, because right here you say that you think the gospel of grace is beautifully unfair, which is all the clips that I used from you said. And since my video is a response to proportional responses conversation about whether or not God's salvation plan is fair, I don't think I've used your clips out of context, because the context I took them from was a conversation that you and I had about whether or not God's salvation plan was fair, way back when we first met on YouTube, well over a year ago. Anyway, not content with your first comment, you were so pissed off you left me a second one, saying, GTF is wrenching out of context to shame himself here. You know, Brock, I find it interesting that anytime someone uses clips from you, no matter what the content of their video, whether or not it's funny or whether or not it's critical, you just bitch about the fact that they've taken your quotes out of context all the time, and you never address the actual points being made to you. Well, in my video yesterday, I wasn't making any points to you, so there was nothing actually for you to have to say about it. I was only representing what you said. I wasn't misrepresenting what you said. And I'm going to show you that to make sure that we both understand that you are fucking lying. I won't be called a liar by someone who's lying when they're calling me it. No way. Not from you, Brock. Anyway, in your comment you carry on and say, we have always managed to disagree and push on, Paul. However, I know from previous dialogue with you on this subject that you are mindfully duplicitous here. Well, the only dialogue we've had on this subject is I'm about to show you. And so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I think you're being duplicitous there, Brock. Sorry. Finally, you carry on to say, I want nothing more to do with your channel. Oh, boo-hoo. Please don't bother to respond. I don't long for a flame war or YT drama. Let's just unsub and agree to let things be. I wish you the best. Well, Brock, I wish you mediocre. You know, don't take that wrong. As far as not wanting anything more to do with my channel, you know, vaya con Dios, man. You know, that's Spanish for go with God. You know, whatever, man. Bye. And as far as not bothering to respond, Brock, you can't dump shit like this on my channel in public and expect me to say nothing about it. You can't say that I'm misrepresenting you and not back it up and expect me to just like let people think that I was misrepresenting you. No. No, of course I'm going to have to stick up for myself, and that's what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the 14 seconds or so from yesterday's video that I used snippets from your video. Then I'm going to play the question from last year that I asked Brock and then I'm going to play Brock's answer in its entirety without any editing from me whatsoever. The edits in that clip are Brock's edits, not mine. Anyway, I'm not going to comment throughout the rest of the video at all to leave you guys to make up your own mind. I would be very, very grateful if everybody who feels so inclined could leave a comment down below and let me know if you think that I have somehow misrepresented Brock Lawley as pertains to the conversation about whether or not God's salvation plan is fair. Thank you for watching, and may all your ups and downs be ups.
If you're looking for fair, if you're looking for fair straight down the line, Christianity isn't for you. Christianity isn't for you. Christianity isn't for you. Thank goodness God doesn't say it the way you do, because fair is not really what is appealing to me about Christianity.
So Brock, what if you were right, but you were wrong? What if you were right about God, God exists, but what if you were wrong about heaven and how to get there? What if the admission price for heaven was, after you die, you have to go to heaven, but before you're allowed entry into eternity, you have to ask for the forgiveness of everyone who's died before you, who you've wronged. And then you have to wait at the door so that you can ask for the forgiveness of everyone who dies after you, and still wait longer at the door to give the forgiveness to people who have wronged you when they come in and ask you for it. But once all that forgiving's been done back, forth, and sideways, then you can spend eternity with the divine. My question, Brock, if that scenario were the case, rather than the one you believe in, which do you think would be more fair, and why?
Gothatfunk, who can never be accused of being a boring guy in any respect, asked me a really cool question. It went something like, you have to ask the forgiveness of all the people who've wronged you, then you have to grant forgiveness, then you have to beg forgiveness, grant forgiveness. It was like the Bermuda Triangle of forgiveness or something like that, but it was a really cool question. He asked me, isn't that more fair? To that question I would say, if you're looking for fair, if you're looking for fair straight down the line, Christianity isn't for you. One of the wonderful things about Christianity is it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Gothatfunk, you're on the winning end of that deal. I would say, yes, perhaps your way would be more fair. My response would be, thank goodness God doesn't say it the way you do, because fair is not really what is appealing to me about Christianity. It is the ever-flowing grace that God became man and sacrificed himself for the fallen creation. It's quite the love story, and I encourage you to read it.